People disappear all the time. Sometimes it's an accident, sometimes it's violence, sometimes it's something else. But towns don't disappear. At least they're not supposed to. Oakhavens wasn't a legend, it wasn't folklore, it wasn't some blurry dot on an old map. According to county records, Oakhavens existed for over 70 years. It had a post office, a school, a grain elevator, even a volunteer fire department. And then one day it didn't. No ruins, no evacuation reports, no disaster footage, no mass grave, just nothing. I first came across Oakhavens while digging through archived infrastructure data. Boring stuff, honestly, road maintenance logs, power grid expansions, census anomalies. That's where Oakhaven stood out. Not because something happened to it, but because everything about it just stopped. Its last recorded power usage ended on the same date its water usage did. No tapering, no decline, just zero. As if someone had flipped a switch on the entire town at once. Naturally, I assumed a critical error until I tried to find it. There's no sign for Oakhavens on modern maps. GPS routes curve around where it should be, like a blind spot. Even satellite imagery shows something strange, a patch of land that looks unfinished, too uniform, like the train reset itself. When I contacted the county's clerk office, they told me Oakhaven had been decommissioned. That word bothered me. Towns don't get decommissioned. Buildings do, systems do, not communities. So I asked when was it decommissioned. There was a pause on the line, and then I was told there was no official date, only a note. The note simply read, "Do not rebuild." I drove out there myself, or at least I tried to. The road leading to Oakhaven exists for about 10 miles before it begins to degrade, not naturally, but incorrectly. Asphalt gives way to gravel that shouldn't be there. Road markings fade in unnatural straight lines. My GPS lost signal completely, then restarted insisting I turn around. When I finally reached the coordinates, I found a field. No foundation, no debris, no broken glass, no cemetery, just grass. But that's the part where it still keeps me awake. The grass wasn't growing naturally. It was the same height everywhere, the same color, no animal tracks, no insect, no wind movement. Even the sound felt wrong, like the air itself was absorbing noise. I found one thing, a street sign lying flat in the dirt. No rust, no wear, no damage. It read Oakhavens POP 1143, and it felt warm. Later I tracked down the people from neighboring towns. Most had never heard of Oakhavens. A few hesitated before answering. One old man told me his grandfather used to warn him never to take night jobs near the quiet place. When I asked what happened there, he said something I didn't expect. Nothing happened, he said. That was the problem. According to him, Oakhavens had no crime, no major accidents, no disasters. People didn't leave, they didn't complain, they didn't protest, they didn't even grow. The town stagnated, birth rates dropped to zero, school enrollment declined without families moving away. Eventually, there were more empty houses than occupied ones, but no one remembered people leaving. Records show the final census worker assigned to Oakhavens never filed his report, but he did leave a voicemail. It's archived. I listened to it. His voice is calm, too calm, I would say. He says the town is still there, that people are still walking around, still smiling, still waving. But every time he turns away, he looks back. Something is missing. Not buildings, not people, details. Windows lose frames and faces blur slightly. Names stop matching mailboxes, and the conversations repeat word for word over and over again. At the end of the message, his voice cracks. He says, I think the town is forgetting itself. The voicemail cuts off mid sentence. No body was ever found. Here's the last thing I learned before I stopped digging. Oakhaven still appears in certain databases, but only briefly, a flash or a reference, a placeholder that corrects itself seconds later, as if something is actively removing it, not erasing it violently, but gently, carefully, like correcting a mistake. And that leaves one question I can't shake. What happens when a place isn't destroyed but rejected? Because if Oak Havens was removed for being wrong, too quiet, too still, too unnecessary, then how many other places are one correction away? And more importantly, how would we know when it starts happening again?